right, today we're going to learn 文法, one of the grammars. です。です。Something this. So what is it? So let's get started by having a look at those two sentences. I hope you see the difference. If you don't, it's okay. We'll see, we'll find out. The first one, 日本に行きたいです。日本に行きたいです。The second one, 日本に行きたいんです。日本に行きたいんです。What's the difference? They look alike, they sound similar, but there's only one tiny difference. There's between 行きたい and です。What does it mean? The first one means I want to go to Japan. The second one also means I want to go to Japan. But when you have there, it sounds like, or it gives the explanation meaning. So it sounds like you're explaining something. Sounds like I want to go to Japan. That's why something. Maybe you might have been asked like, why are you studying Japanese? Why are you learning Japanese? You might say, 日本に行きたいんです. Instead of, you might know 日本に行きたいからです, which means literally because I want to go to Japan. But you can put and this sentence makes you sound like you're already explaining instead of から without using から. So 日本に行きたいんです. So that's the difference. That was the difference between 日本に行きたいです、日本に行きたいんです。How about this one? カラオケが好きです。カラオケが好きです。Another one. カラオケが好きなんです。カラオケが好きなんです。カラオケが好きなんです。So here, there's also な。So grammatically, な adjectives. きれいな、静かな、穏やかな、にぎやかな、な adjective. You have to hold. You can't remove な when you put this. Well, in normal sentence, when you're saying the truth, when you're saying that, that you like karaoke, you have to remove な。カラオケが好きです。But if you want to sound like, because I like karaoke, you might have been asked like, hey, why? Wow, you have like all those equipments, like microphones and speakers and screens at home. Wow. And then you will say, カラオケが好きなんです. Or instead of, if you say カラオケが好きです, it's just you're saying that, I like it. But when you say カラオケが好きなんです, so that will include that you are explaining why you have those equipments, why you are maybe good at singing, why, blah, blah, blah. So that's different. And you have to be careful with these adjectives, that na adjective. Don't forget na. How about nouns? The first one, それはおもちゃです。おもちゃ toy. それはおもちゃです。It's a toy. それはおもちゃなんです。それはおもちゃなんです。それはおもちゃなんです。These are two different sentences. The first one, it's a toy. The second one, it's a toy. But that's why maybe you can't see it moving. And that's why it's not real. That's why you can't really use it like for real and stuff. So, それはおもちゃなんです when you say it. That includes explanation. And the same as na adjectives, you have to have na before です after the nouns. So the names of the things or the people, or for example, like nani or something. So you have to have nan instead of this. And then you can sound like you're explaining. You can use the phrase instead of because, like blah blah kara desu. So in summary, when it's verbs, it has to be short form. With short form, we'll have a closer look later. Plus desu. Na adjectives and nouns plus nan desu. And then you will sound totally natural. What short form, which can be also called informal speech or casual speech, casual way of saying. So for example, taberu, to eat. Taberu, affirmative, tabemasu. So that's a long form, like usual form, formal form, mas form. But when you want to say desu, like in the explanation nuance, in the explanation context, you can't say tabemasu desu. That'll be wrong. So it should be short form. It should be informal form, like just like friendly talk to your friend. So taberu, or in affirmative form, it's the same as dictionary form. So instead of tabemasu, you say taberu desu. Taberu desu. And negative, tabemasen. Taberu, tabemasen. As in mas form. But if you want to say desu in explanation context, you have to have tabenai as in short form. Tabenai desu. It's wrong to say tabemasen desu. That'll be wrong. Past tense, taberu, tabemashita. Tabemashita. And short form, tabeta plus desu. Tabetan desu. Why can't you just eat more? Because I ate. Tabetan desu. Tabetan desu. Stuff like that. Tabemashita, tabetan desu. Instead of tabemashita desu. You can't say that. Past tense negative. Tabemasen deshita will be tabenakattan desu. Tabenakattan desu. Why are you so hungry? Tabenakattan desu. Because I haven't eaten. Because I didn't eat. And stuff like that. And na adjectives. It's only affirmative present tense that you have to have na. Otherwise, desu. Kirei na, it's a popular na adjective. Kirei na. So when you state that it's beautiful or it's clean, you say kirei desu, you have to remove na. But when you want to say kirei nan desu, when you want to explain something, kirei nan desu, you have to put back na. Kirei nan desu. Why are you saying present crying? Because the sunset was so beautiful. Because sunset is beautiful. Yuhi ga kirei nan desu. And stuff like that. Kirei nan desu. So it'll be wrong to say kirein desu. You can't say that in the first place. But kirein desu, that's wrong. Kirei nan desu. Negative form. Kirei de wa arimasen. Kirei ja arimasen. This form. Kirei ja nain desu. Kirei ja nain desu. Past tense affirmative. Kirei deshita. Kirei deshita. When you want to explain something. Kirei datta. Short form. Kirei dattan desu. Past tense negative. Kirei de wa arimasen deshita. Kirei ja arimasen deshita will be kirei ja nakatta desu. Kirei ja nakattan desu. Okay, hope it's okay. And as mentioned, when you say desu, you have when you put between verbs, nouns, adjectives, and desu, that will add some explanation tone, explanation nuance. When you state something, when you're saying the truth, when you're saying your wish, your desire, your request and stuff, whatever happened. For example, 寝坊しました. I overslept. But maybe when you're asked like, hey, how come you're so late? 寝坊したんです。寝坊したんです。Short form plus ん。But んです can also work in those two functions. Inviting speakers to explain in questions. So when you do this in questions, inviting speakers for more like clarification. For example, どうしましたか? どうしましたか? What's wrong with you? What happened? But when you say どうしたんですか? どうしました in short form どうした plus どうしたんですか? It's basically the same. It's in a question. It's still a question. But どうしましたか you're asking genuinely. どうしたんですか maybe you're more expected to give response, to give the answer. So when you really want to know どうしたんですか when you want the answer, when you say it with like, oh, please explain and stuff. So maybe you start with どうしましたか and then you maybe just go on with like どうしましたかどうしたんですか maybe when you want to request. So that there's a nuance. And so the last one, I think this has been way more used than the so-called textbook Japanese. For example, we do this all the time. Extra comments in response. So when you are talking and you want to add some more information, you want to tell more about something you already started to talking about. For example, 面白い動画ですね。面白い動画ですね. Well, that's a funny video. That's an interesting video. And as in response, yes. So that's a response enough. But you add more comments and more information. 昨日見つけたんです。昨日見つけたんです。昨日見つけたんです。I found it yesterday. So in English, it's the same. Yeah, I found it yesterday. That's the same. But in standard Japanese, as you learn in textbook, 見つけました。はい、昨日見つけました。You would say. But in daily conversations, we use this like です very often. はい、昨日見つけたんです。So like, you know what? You want to tell more. So you say this all the time. はい、昨日見つけたんです。見つけました。instead of 見つけました。はい、昨日見つけたんです。We do this all the time. Like, when you want to keep going in the conversation, you add in more comments and stuff. これ食べたんです。そう、そこで見つけたんです。面白かったんです。Stuff like that. So, in this context, you might have heard these sentences. So, in the left side, it's the textbook, basic grammar style. In the right side, we do this like in daily lives. So, the first one, 何ですか? 何ですか? What is it? What is it? But 何なんですか? Maybe you've heard of that. So there's a difference. 何ですか? 何なんですか? 何なんですか? It's not just double 何. It's the same logic behind it. So んです plus か as in question. And な, this な comes here because 何 is a noun. Oh, that's confusing. 何 here as a name of the word. So 何なんですか? Grammatically. So 何なんですか means like what in the world is it? I demand the answer. What is it? So when you mean it, instead of what is it? 何ですか? It's just a very genuine question. But when you want to emphasize that, tell me what it is. Explain me what this is. And you would say, 何なんですか? 何なんですか? So there's a difference. The next one. どこに行きましたか? どこに行きましたか? Where have you been? Where have you gone? Where is it gone? Well, there's no subject, so you can't really specify subject. But どこに行きましたか? Where is it gone? Or where have you been? Where has he gone? 行きました. Past tense. A verb should be in short form. 行った。どこに行った plus ん and ですか as in the question form. どこに行ったんですか? So there is an emphasis in it. So どこに行ったんですか? I need to know. どこに行ったんですか? どこに行ったんですか? Instead of どこに行きましたか? The last one, そうです。そうです。Usually the beginner of the Japanese learners, well, that's the first thing we learn. So when they say, yes, that's right, they say そうです. That's correct. And that is correct to say そうです. But in daily life, daily conversations, we say そうなんです. Because you're actively joining in the conversation and you want to say more. You want to add some more information coming along. So we usually そうなんです when you say that's right. So there is a difference. So hopefully you will get more, fun in understanding the daily Japanese conversations, like daily phrases. And that's what it was. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. お疲れ様でした. If you want to practice Japanese with us and meet your new classmates, you're more than welcome to join us. Okaeri SCHOOL.